Welcome to the Speak Well Accent Reduction 12-week course. This is a free class to discuss and go over the details of our training with some tips and information about accent reduction here at ARDA. We are a 20-year organization. We have been providing accent reduction as a specialized training to both the public and private sector. So we do work with corporations as well as individuals, and today's discussion is going to highlight some of the individual components of the self-study option. But it's a great self-starter. It's self-study. For those of you who have watched a video on accent reduction in the past, you know that there may be some information out there that's not really geared toward you in particular. You may YouTube a video. We do customize the material specifically to your accent in our self-study plus assessment program, so you can have a customized approach. The location is an online option, so obviously the on-demand training videos will be available to you online 24 hours a day. You can log in, pick up where you left off, play back segments that you missed or have trouble with, and it can be accessed from any internet computer or even a mobile device anywhere in the world. The course objective, of course, we want to have clear spoken English. The standard American English is our model. What that means is phonetically we break down your accent in the initial assessment, and we only focus on the sounds that are missing, thus improving the barrier of communication. So we focus on the consonant sounds of English that may be mispronounced, the vowel sounds, and of course intonation patterns and stressing patterns. But our primary focus, and what most people think of accent reduction, is the movable parts of speech, the articulators. Where do I place my tongue when I say a particular consonant sound, TH? Is it on the teeth? Is it too far forward? Is it too far back? Being very precise about the specific placement of a sound is very important, and we do cover that in the first part of a session, and we usually move into other areas that are more advanced later on. But the objective is to speak the sounds of American English clearly and effectively with little or no accent. The accent reduction course will provide you with clear and confident speech in conversation. That's formal and informal conversations. So if you're at work, you can access the material and implement it in conversations that are more formal, and socially as well when you are speaking amongst friends. However, you may not want to speak without an accent in those situations, so you do have the option to become less aware, and then the accent will be more apparent. So the more aware you are, making the unconscious sounds of speech more conscious, that is the goal. The ability for you to mispronounce a word in conversation will be greatly improved. We want to emphasize that we are speaking with a certain accent. It's called standard American speech. And what that means is it's a certain style of speech. It may be considered more broadcast quality speech that you may hear on the television or on the radio, or the way that I'm speaking perhaps right now. We are emphasizing American standard speech because it cuts through any regionalisms in speech. Every culture has different dialects with their language. You go to the southern United States and you'll hear a different accent. So we sort of cut through this by focusing on standard American speech model, the Midwestern United States as the model. And of course, it is designed to enhance English communication and fluency. It's for you, it's for the professional, it's for the non-professional, it's for anyone who wishes to speak English with an audience that they're trying to perhaps persuade or convince of a certain idea. So communication is essentially providing information to get a certain response. Sometimes in situations where people have an accent, they're not getting the desired response that they want. They may be getting a question from the person about their accent, where they're from, or perhaps they're being asked to repeat themselves. So to that end, accent reduction is for anyone who wishes to cut down on the barriers of speech that may come up because of those questions. But taking it one step further, we do see a large number of clients that seem to be focused on career advancement. So if your focus is trying to get ahead in your career and you're speaking with a boss or staff members or peers at work, and you want to speak more clearly, more effectively, without an accent, and it's also for any individual who just wants self-improvement. We emphasize a minimum of 2 unit hours up to 5 unit hours. This, therefore, can be done because it is a 30 unit hour program, could ostensibly be done in 6 weeks. However, we provide double the amount of time for study and tracking your progress over a 12-week program. It is suitably tailored material based on an initial assessment. Again, there are 2 self-study options. One is the basic, the other is with the assessment included, which you'll see at the end of the material that we're going through currently. It'll be at the end of the class today. But we do have appropriate formats for the initial person who's taking an initial assessment, or those who have opted not to take the assessment and just want to jump right into the training. Then there is the option for less customized material. You don't get to choose the material on a week in, week out basis. We just provide this material to you, and everything that you will be receiving will be essential information to improving your accent. What you will learn specifically is, as I briefly mentioned, speaking more clearly and succinctly. Sometimes we choose the wrong words. Sometimes we choose a word that we know we're not going to have trouble saying, mispronouncing a word, so we may avoid certain words. So we want to make sure that your proficiency level is at such that you can demonstrate progress in the program, what we call potentiality. Everyone is going to learn at their own pace. Therefore, you are able to maximize the time of study by taking some additional time in the additional 6 weeks of the training to really thoroughly understand and demonstrate a mastery knowledge of the material. When we're discussing certain core elements, one of which is articulation of a vowel, and another may be a consonant pronunciation. We also will incorporate rhythm and intonation training. So it isn't a linear approach in terms of, well, first you have to learn this technique before you learn that technique. And therefore, what you will be able to do is go through our glossary of terms and be able to have an appropriate level of vocabulary when you're talking and communicating to others in our discussion forum in the classroom after the class. So there is a program manager assigned to you that you will be able to engage if you do get stuck and need some more support during the program. The self-study assessment, again, is one of the options. The other is without the assessment, which allows us to go over specifically your accent errors and appropriate the content of the material specifically to that assessment. That's what we call a diagnostic assessment, and it is a report which highlights and charts your phonetic sounds of English, so you'll know if you see the title of a course or title of a training video that has, for example, mentioning R consonant sound, then you know based on that assessment result that that would be a good choice of a video for you to choose. Again, if you don't have the assessment, then we will make those choices for you. Once you sign up for the assessment, you can start looking forward to managing your lessons. So once the results are in within 72 hours, you can start the training. Inside the personal login, you will have the opportunity to, in the first week, listen to the course preface. Again, it is a video with the PDF PowerPoint slides. As is the case with all of the video, they do have the slides attached to them. So you do have access to all of the material a week at a time, and that is part of the training program, the way it is structured. So there is a contact point for your program manager's discussion board where you can ask questions if you get stuck in a certain section. We do have a live chat that can also take care of any of those problems technically. When you start the lessons, there are other participants in the training program, and they can also be found in the discussion forum, and you will be able to see some of their questions that they post. If, for example, you have a question about is my assignment being properly received, or you can always post a question or see that other students have also posted those questions, and usually find the answer you're looking for right away. But if not, you can also chat with us or send us an email, of course. Starting the lessons is going to have as I said, a weekly upload of 2 to 5 units of training. You can do all 5 of them for the week and be done with all of the units in 6 weeks and take the remaining 6 weeks to continue studying, or you could take your time and pace it out for 2 to 3 units per week over a 12-week program. So it's up to you. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. Your lessons will also be accessed through another login point. Of course, it's speak-well.org. At the home page, you can log in. You'll find on the upper right-hand corner where it says login, it will take you directly to the training portal, which can also be directly found at conversate.com. Progress is being monitored independent of other participants. Here's just a sample list of training videos. Unit 1 may be vowel sounds. They'll usually focus on one particular vowel sound that you have trouble with. For example, it could be the American ah sound. So it would be ah sound as in Annie or sand. In the first 5 or 10 minutes, place and manner of articulation demonstrated, so you'll understand the exact place inside the mouth, and you'll be able to demonstrate at the end of that video your competency through the submission of assignments. So you'll be asked to record yourself and submit that recording for our review and your potentiality and retention rate. That would be just one of the units. So we try to prioritize the training based on the assessment, but again, if you're not an assessment applicant and your training program is just a self-study basic program, then this would be a very good list of syllabus options that we would recommend. And you may not want to change anything at all if you have an assessment. It's just an option. So this would be just a small, brief portion of one of the material. As you can see in the notation at the bottom of this slide, it does mention that you are asked to pause the video at a certain time and practice. And at the end of the video, you'll be able to submit that assignment. Once we have that assignment, we will have tools for measuring progress. We are able to monitor classroom activity through our internal reports, so we can see where you're having trouble, how long you're on a particular assignment, the grade that you received. If the grade is above a certain level, you'll be able to move on. If not, you'll be asked to try again. The quizzes are speak in the blank, so you'll be asked to speak a word, and if that word is spoken correctly, we'll know that and we'll be able to graduate to the next cohort. If not, you'll be asked to achieve a certain level before moving on. This is just an example of one of the articulation assignments. As it is in your login, you'll be able to see that here there is a summary of grading. Usually it's pass or fail. It tells you, you receive 7 out of 10 correct, or 4 out of 5, or 1 out of 5. But this would be after each section of the video. You'll also have access to the report, so you, in fact, can see on your home page the progress that you're making. For those of you who do opt to go with the self-study plus the assessment option, you will have a percentage of the vowels and the consonants and the diphthong sounds of spoken English. We call these the segments of speech. So you will have a segmental list of your sound errors. And of course, that is an excellent way to track progress over the course of the training. Are you making certain sentences incomplete because of the way that you're saying something? Sometimes we don't feel as though we're getting the point across, so we stop and we sort of change directions with our sentence. If you find yourself not finishing sentences, that may be a sign that your proficiency level is at a lower rate. And it would be a good way to determine how much improvement you make. Also, are there limitations when you are speaking on specific topics? When we have to speak and interact with people, typically at a professional level, the topics may become more focused. Now, one of the components to the program, and one of the reasons why we actually launched this program, I believe back in 2016, was primarily so that we could have others maintain their retention of material between sessions. So for that reason, it's obviously very flexible. You can take the program with you. You can take the slides with you. Simply just log into your mobile device and pull up a video or a PDF document for studying anywhere. Also, of course, the material is going to be impacting your conversations. So the more you review that material and those word lists and terminologies, and you're aware of your speech, the more you have awareness, then obviously the fewer mistakes you're going to make when you're speaking. So the material is, of course, digital. The PowerPoint slides are available, and there is a mobile app you'll be able to download to access all of this information, including the audio samples, as well as seeing your trackable progress of your course. This is just one of those samples of files that we ask a student to, in some cases, listen to differentiate between a particular vowel sound. This vowel sound happens to be the short I sound, which is I as in will, which often is confused with the E sound as E as in we. So we have a recording sample for you to listen to and demonstrate progress. Once you have listened to a recording and read through a list of words, then we'll ask for you to submit that sample. Typically, for some assignments, it's important that you don't submit an assignment until you are comfortable with your result. So once you submit that assignment, sometimes that would be the only time you're able to submit it, and other times you can have a second or third attempt. But the word lists found here, in particular, you can see that there are compared and contrasting vowel sounds. So during one session, when we do work on a particular sound, you will be able to demonstrate through a list of words that you see here. Also, it is a good idea to listen to the words as you pronounce them the first time. So on that playback, it's really a great way to reinforce and to create a sense of objectiveness about the way you're pronouncing the words. So it is part of the program to have a review of your own material, and that would also be the recording material that you would want to listen to yourself and before submitting. You can sign up for the program through the registration links here. All of the applicants that wish to sign up today, we are having a promotion where it is on sale currently. The cost is $8.99. I believe that's $200 off the regular price. So you'll be able to, if you copy and paste the link here under the self-study or the self-study plus assessment option, that will take you directly to the checkout page. And we look forward to seeing you in the Speak Well classroom sometime early next week. Thank you for joining us today. And again, if you're interested in joining us, please do click the links or copy and paste the links on the left or the right side of the page. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, my name is Travis James, creator, founder of the Speak Well method, and the program is the Self-Study program. We look forward to helping you over the next 12 weeks. If you have any questions, please do let us know. We are available by email or phone anytime during registration. And registration will be closed at midnight tonight. Please do click on the bottom links, one of the two links. You can also get there at speak-well.org/self-study, which would take you to the checkout pages. Again, it's $200 off today. The current price is $8.99, and the current price for the self-study plus assessment at $13.99, also discounted only until 12 o'clock today, which is the last day for registration. So we look forward to seeing you, and thank you for joining us today.